Hey everybody, I'm Spencer. I'm president and CTO of Aviron Software, and I wanted to walk you through how to connect OpenAI to C# or your .NET project. In my previous video, I walked you through how to connect Azure OpenAI to your .NET project. So what I wanted to go ahead and show you is just connecting OpenAI. This is going directly to OpenAI and using their API directly. But I first wanted to talk about the specific API endpoint that we're using, which is the chat completion endpoint. So most people, when they think of ChatGPT, they think of literally having a chat interface. So you can say, how's the weather today? And having a back and forth conversation with an AI assistant. Oh, it's telling me it's pretty good weather in St. Louis, I think. A little chilly, but you know how it goes. So what we're going to do is mimic this exact flow in C#. So we're going to do this inside of a simple console app where we'll be able to chat with an API, kind of just have a little bit of back and forth. So first thing I'm going to show you is the OpenAI interface and how you would set up an API key so you could make requests. And then we'll jump to the C# project and actually start coding our assistant. So first things first, we're going to go to platform.openai.com. And you can see that it pops up a whole page. So there's a developer quick start page for lots of different people. We're just gonna, all of their examples are in JavaScript, Python, or curl. Of course, this is a .NET video. So we're gonna stick with the .NET stuff. And you're gonna notice up here at the top left that there is a Aviron Software LLC and a default project. So we're just gonna stick with the default project for now. And then we're going to go to Manage Projects. So you'll see on the screen that we've got an interface, just a simple menu with a bunch of different stuff on it. So I'm going to focus on two sections for the purpose of this video. First things first is we need to go to the billing section. You can see that we have a balance here of $22. And in order to use the API, you need to use their credits. So you need to use credits that you already have. It used to be that OpenAI would allow you to just accrue credits, and that's not the case anymore. So you got to add in some money first. So you're going to go to Added Credit Balance, click there. Pay by whatever method of payment they accept. Typically credit card will work. And then move on over to this API key section. So you can see we have a couple of API keys already created. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to create another one. And I'm going to show it to you too, because by the time you see this video, it's going to be deleted. So we're going to call this my test key for my video. And I'm just going to say default project. That's fine. And we'll just give it all permissions. If you need something more nuanced, certainly you could do that. But I'm just going to create secret key. And then I'm going to copy this. I'm going to take it to the clipboard. And that's pretty much it as far as what you need to do. It's a lot less steps than on the Azure OpenAI side. Let's flip over to our project. And you're going to see that we have just a very basic project setup. We just have, all I did was .NET new console and create a new console app, as you can see. So we're going to kill all that. So, of course, I'm using JetBrains Writer, which is the best .NET IDE in the world. And in JetBrains, I'm going to go over to this NuGet button here on the bottom left, and I am going to say OpenAI, and you're going to see here, OpenAI, and you're going to see that it's the official .NET library for the OpenAI Service API. And in fact, the GitHub page contains a huge amount of information for doing all sorts of things. But we're going to focus again, like I said, on chat completions. But they support things like function calling if you have custom functions defined within your code, which we'll address in a future video. But put a link to that to the description. Back to the code here. So first thing we need to do is our OpenAI API key is here in our clipboard. So we'll just go ahead and paste it in and just hit enter and move on to the next thing. Okay, now we need to actually go and create our client. So we're going to say var client equals new chat client. And we have to install it first, don't we? So we're going to click install. And then you can see that our chat client is now available. Go here, import type, openai.chat. So you'll see there it is. And there's two arguments that are going to be the kind of the focal point of this video, which you will see. So we've got a model and then an API key. So the model you'll find here on their models page. So when you log into platform.openai.com, you'll see their documentation. Typically it'll start on the overview, but if you click on here on models, you'll see all of the different models that they have for chat completions. And we're going to focus currently specifically on the GPT-4o model. So we'll go ahead and type that in, GPT-4o, and then we'll give it our OpenAI API key. All right, pretty good so far. Next thing we're going to do is actually create a store for our messages. So var messages equals new list of chat message. Perfect. And this is going to be just our in-memory store. This is where we're going to persist them just for the life of the running of the application. Because unlike in ChatGPT, where it just seems like you're just adding messages on, every time you make a request to the Chat Completions API, you send the entire message history back, and OpenAI will process that entire chat history and then send you back another response. So we're going to go ahead and just allow for a person to just chat with them indefinitely until they hit exit. So we're going to create our while loop. We're going to say while true, and then we're going to say line, var line, and we're going to say console.readLine. So read line will just, you type something, you hit enter, and then console read line returns. And we'll say if line equals exit, we'll just go ahead and break from this loop. Pretty easy so far. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take that line and add it to our messages array. So we're going to say messages.add, and you're going to see that it is a list of chat message, but if we try to instantiate chat message directly, you can see that it is a public type with an internal constructor. So we can't do that directly. What they want you to do is do new user chat message. So this will be our message that we add. So chat messages are broken down into who sends them. So you can have a system prompt, for instance, which is a message specifically for guiding the behavior of the chat completion instance that you're sending back and forth to the API, which I'll demonstrate here momentarily. In this case, this is something from the user, which is us. And there's also assistant chat messages, which are responses from the API. So we're going to say messages.add new user chat message, and we're going to say line. Then next, what we're going to do is we're going to say var response equals await client.complete chat async. And you're going to see that there is a bunch of overloads, but we're going to focus just in on this IEnumerable chat messages. There's a bunch of different options. You can change the temperature of the API, which will vary the randomness of the output, which we're not going to get into that. But for the purposes of this video, we'll just stick with just passing in the messages. And as far as reading the response from the API, we'll go ahead and say var chat response, and we'll say response dot value dot content dot last dot text. We'll go ahead and write that to the console so the user can see their reply. So console.writeLine. We'll say chat response. And finally, we're going to persist this back into our messages list. So that way it can be sent to the API every time we make a call. So we're going to say messages.add, and we'll say new assistance chat message. You can see that right there. And then chat response. All right, I think this is ready to go. Let's go ahead and invite the user to chat with the API by saying console.writeLine. Say something to OpenAI. We're going to hit play. We're going to see our application running here. Minimize that. And we're going to say hello. We're going to hit enter. It's going to respond. Hello, how can I assist you today? How polite. And I'm going to say, my name is Spencer. What's yours? ChatGPT, a AI language model created by OpenAI. How can I help you today? So you can see that integrating chat completions within a .NET application is fairly simple. There's some more stuff that we can do with it, which will be the focus of one of our upcoming videos on semantic kernel. But I just wanted to show you just a little bit more, which is I'm going to change the behavior of this prompt. I'm going to change the behavior of this chat completion API by instantiating our chat message with a system message. So again, that's a one-time use message that you use to change the behavior of all of the calls. So we're going to say new system chat message. You have a Southern accent and are friendly. Okay, let's see how that goes. Let's hit play. Say something to OpenAI. Hello. And you can see that whatever it has determined is a Southern accent is howdy, how are you doing today? Anything I can help you with? And look at that, nice emoji, very friendly. You're pretty friendly. Cowpoke. Aw shucks, thank you kindly. That is chat completions in .NET using the OpenAI API directly. Again, there is a separate video for using Azure's OpenAI, which is a little bit more complicated, a little bit more steps to set up, not too bad. Perfect if you're in an Azure environment, especially if you're with a company or an organization where you already have agreements in place with Azure for data privacy. Maybe it's HIPAA, could be a host of different things. Plenty of good reasons to host in Azure as well. For the simple stuff, if you're trying to be as turnkey as possible and you just want to kind of go from zero to make magic happen, I would recommend using the OpenAI API directly. In our next video, we'll talk about Semantic Kernel, which is Microsoft's library for integrating AI into your .NET applications. And it has a bunch of exciting stuff that I use in production with my clients. Stay tuned, hit like and subscribe, comment below if you have any questions or thoughts, and have a good one. Thanks a lot.